Scorpio, I'm using a deck for you that I don't think I've ever used in a monthly reading before, but I've got a real hunch to use it for you. So, Cyber Tarot. I know, it's a weird one. It's quite a harsh deck, but also at the same time, it's quite scorpionic. And it's that side of Scorpio that I'm fascinated by, actually. Maybe you could explain it to me a bit in the comments. I'm always wary of asking Scorpio to say too much in the comments because you're not always wanting to, but humour me. There's a side to Scorpio that is, obviously, you've got that whole kind of Pluto thing, plumbing the depths, a feeling that you can go deeper into the really difficult stuff than most other star signs. Kind of your job, isn't it? Kind of your job, your reputation. But I've seen it in action as well with all the Scorpios I know, and I know a lot of Scorpios. But there's this other side that can go dystopian Scorpio. And that I'm really interested in, and it's quite dark. So if you've got anything to say about that in the comments, I would be really, really grateful, because you're going to understand it way better than me, but I want to understand it. My brother's a Scorpio, as you probably know if you watch me a bit. Wow. And he has it. And he's a lovely chap. He is. He's kind-hearted, you know, all of these things. But there's this dark side to him that he can see things. I don't know. It's like Tyrion. I drink and I see things. So let me know, okay? Because I'm interested, genuinely interested in what takes you that far, and also what do you do with it. It's kind of a bit like the back of one of these cards, you know, like you're in a sort of, it's a bit like, you know that film The Matrix, where you can either take the blue pill or the red pill, and I think the blue pill takes you out of the Matrix or the red pill keeps you in it, whatever. It's almost like we're all in the Matrix, but you're in the difficult bit because you didn't choose the comforting pill. I know, there you go. That's my mad Scorpio rant for the day. Looky, see, you got the King of Swords. God, this deck is ace. I don't know if I've ever used it in any reading, actually, not even a daily one. King of Swords is his clarity. You know, he thinks clearly, he brooks no argument, he knows his barriers, he knows his boundaries, he knows like this crystalline way of thinking, and it comes up with the absolute opposite, which is the Queen of Cups. This is very, very much a masculine energy, this King of Swords. It's head ruling the heart, but also just think icy blue, clear, clean, schning, that kind of thing. Okay, now the Queen of Cups, and of course you are a water sign, which I also find very fascinating, because I'm a water sign, you're a water sign, but you're different from Cancer and Pisces. Pisces, which I am, and Cancer, we're messier in the water sign department, and you are sharper, but also have that messy thing underneath. So, Queen of Cups, you are getting, as ever, some downloads at the moment, which will be coming through crystal clear. So let me open this curtain for a bit more light. Coming through crystal clear, almost like old school crystal radio sets. Mine was never crystal clear. But that whole, like, you're tuning into a frequency almost. You're tuning into a frequency which is a very scorpionic kind of frequency, but the downloads, when they're coming, are coming out muffled and also mysterious. So you're almost, and this isn't surprising because, you know, March, and we're reading now for April, but March had Mercury retrograde, as I call it, Venus retrograde. It had that lunar eclipse, which was stonking. I mean, it was big, wasn't it? And difficult, and it was everything. And then the solar eclipse at the end of the month. I mean, it's a lot to be getting on with. A lot. So I'm not surprised. But for you, it's absolutely crystallized a way of thinking about something. So expect, as you know, Mercury goes direct, I think, on the 7th of April. So expect kind of more like mid to late April, that all the things that have yanked you in one direction or another, it's making me really itchy, in one direction or another, are going to come down to you in what you will think will be, oh my God, this has just come to my mind. Maybe it just came to your mind, but it's been coming for a long time. Okay, this has been coming for a long time. I'm going to write that down with my Pisces glittery pen because it's important. Okay, this has been coming for a long time. Once I start channeling, I can't remember anything I said, so I do write it down and make a few notes. Okay, let me just turn that off as well. I don't actually know how to turn that off, so I'm going to do that. Okay. Been coming for a long time. You have heavy intuition about something. You are aware of something, but for the last few weeks or so, you haven't been aware that you've been aware of it. Okay? You haven't been aware that you've been aware of it. But it's what, I think you got this a couple of readings ago or 3. It's the known unknown. Digest that. It's the known unknown. You know, but you can't name it. You can't use it yet. The knowledge of what you know. Whew! God, Scorpio. Cripes. Nice. I wasn't expecting that, actually. You get the 6 of Wands, the 6 of dystopian wands, which is kind of robot celebrations. Interesting. Yeah, I do get this feeling that you are going to, I want to say win, actually. You're going to win at a problem that you've had. I'm going to write that down as well, because it's really good news. This problem could be in any area of your life, okay? Nice. 8 of Wands. So this is Mercury in Sagittarius. Mercury, planet of communication. Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter. So it's why we always have in the 8 of Wands, sort of wands expanding and zipping around. And this is no exception. Some communication that has been lacking is going to open out to you. And I feel like that's going to, I don't want to say solve everything, because it doesn't work like that. But it's definitely going to make you feel better. And it's going to give a place to all the downloads that you've been getting. You can communicate them. So this might be with another person. It might be that it's with an organisation, you know, or even that it's with you and your universe and your God or your spirit or whatever, that you find clean lines of communication. You know, it's going to be time to talk. Just writing that down too. Good comms, good comms. Okay. Whereas before, you may have been talking to this person or organisation, and there may have been words coming out of your mouth, but they weren't catching on. They weren't communicating. They weren't being received and heard. And then the words that were coming back to you, they might as well have been, because I'm getting channeled like a foreign language, almost a Greek alphabet, you know, a different alphabet. Now that can either be because you're dealing with something with a foreign language, but also that you're dealing, that you're both talking, but it feels like you're from different countries, different places. You can't understand each other. Ooh. We get the Knight of Cups coming in. This is nice. Knight of Cups, you know, traditionally it's a love card, or it's a card of somebody bringing something to you which will make your heart sing. So this can be, I mean, it can be in business if someone headhunts you and says, you know, I absolutely know you're right for this position and you love that job. That can make your heart sing. So it's got this energy of waking you up to love, waking you up to something affectionate. It can also be somebody, because it comes next to the Eight of Wands, these two together, somebody saying something very emotional or very emotionally precious to you, so that you can know the truth about your own feelings for something or someone. Because this has been difficult. I'm getting like channeled a dot to dot. You know, when you were younger and you used to get those books. I mean, maybe not if you're younger than me, but back in the day, like in the 80s or whatever, the early 80s, you know, we didn't have phones, and so sometimes people would unbelievably buy dot to dot books, and we would draw them, and I got then channeled like a dot to dot picture, but half of the dots aren't joined. You haven't joined the dots yet, okay? But this is very, very encouraging, because the Eight of Wands brings the communication and the Knight of Cups brings the emotion to that communication, the emotion that is needed. It feels as if there's been a blockage, you know? There's been a blockage, and that blockage is now free. And I'm getting a really gross, like blocked toilet pipe thing. We won't go into it too much. You might be eating your breakfast while you're watching this, but let's just say it gets cleared, and everyone's happier when it does. Because I don't know if you've ever had a blocked drain or anything. You don't last long with a blocked drain. You know, for me, Scorpio rules drainage systems, sewage systems, and people are funny about them. But actually, we stand or fall on our sewage systems. You know, the Romans did build, I mean, I'm in an area where we're still using the Victorian ones. They still work. But, you know, there'd soon be a revolution if they didn't, is what I'm saying. These things are very, very important. And I feel like there's been a blockage in a relationship, with a company, with a person, with the world, with whatever. And that is able to be freed, but it's not free on your part, as in you are going to have to do some of the work for it, but actually not much. Looking at this card, I'm starting to like this reading for you. Not that I wasn't before, but I'm just saying I'm liking this. There will be an extended reading, as there is every month. So if it all resonates with you, that's the first link in the description box later on. Six of Pentacles. You've already got your Six of Wands, which is winner, winner, chicken dinner, or vegan alternative. And the Six of Pentacles, you can see like somebody, cyborg, whoever it is, bringing a gift. I don't actually watch any sci-fi or anything, so this is all a bit new to me. Somebody makes your life easier. It's giving. It can be giving money. So it can be a material gift, or that you've been waiting for the go-ahead on a grant or a loan, or, you know, something where, probably not a loan actually, because then you'd be giving it back too much, but a grant or a bursary or a refund. Or it can also be emotional, where somebody takes the grind away from you. Because I feel Scorpio, and Scorpio will do this. You're a good employee to have, because you keep digging and you keep trying and you keep working at things, and you can be very diligent, and, you know, you keep on and on and on at something. But sometimes you need to stop and let somebody else take those reins for a bit. It's about being out of control, and I get that, but it's causing you more harm than good, I think. Yeah. 5 of Cups. A moment of stillness, and also 5s are disruptors. 5 of Cups is, it's a certain sadness, you know, about what you leave behind. I'm just going to show you the cards on the table. Well, that's nice and wonky, isn't it? Cripes. Here we go. 5 of Cups is, it's kind of not necessarily voluntary. Sometimes you decide to give something up, and sometimes it's decided for you. Okay, let's have a look at that in particular. Who's deciding? That's quite good, actually. Yeah, that's you deciding. 10 of Pentacles. When you get the 10 of Pentacles, there is a sense in which the greater good takes precedence. So if we look at this, let's just bring them down, because I do want to actually zoom in a bit more, because they're so nice cards, aren't they? That's better. This is the 10 of Pentacles. It can be deferred gratification, something Scorpio is very good at. So, in other words, this is a kind of end game. It's the end of the Pentacle suit, where you've been building and building and learning, and then here we have this great kind of denouement, this great result, this whole, here we are, we made it. In the Rider-Waite, it's like a castle, and it's got generations and granddads and dogs and kids, you know, and what do they call it? Those castle flag things, you know, with a family crest. You know, we're not necessarily going to be getting out the family tartan or weaving a family crest and getting the old SOV or signet ring out, but you are acting for your own greater good, and you are going to start to see where that's going to happen. This can be commitment in a relationship. This can be money in the bank. And, you know, the kind of people who say that money doesn't really matter usually have quite a lot of money. I've noticed. I know that's really not a very spiritual thing to say, but stuff it. It's true. Obviously, you know, on your deathbed, people generally don't say, I wish I had more money. But it does make things easier. It does open doors. So there is something here about a greater degree of financial security coming your way. Frankly, that's not to be sniffed at. You could also have, we said before, downloads with the King of Swords. Intuition about something that then gets confirmed, or at least that you then get to kind of open the door on. I like this. If you have ideas about a business, if you have ideas about being creative, this is very, very powerful. And again, it seems to come out of nowhere, but it doesn't come out of nowhere. Because think about, there was an eclipse last year in about October the 2nd. There was a second one about 2 weeks later. No, 2 weeks before, September the 18th or something like that. Think back to then. What were you struggling with? What were you wanting clarity on back then? Because there's something here about finding it. And half of that is your own efforts and half of it is the universe turning to meet you with a solution. Big channel for you there. Big channel. Don't like this card. Haven't looked at it yet. Why don't I like the Hierophant? Okay. I just felt weird with it. Felt a bit of animosity. When you get the Hierophant and the tarot reader gets a weird feeling, there can also... Ooh, but I get it with the star. No, I don't feel bad about that at all. And this. Okay. Let me just get rid of me so you can see that one. Okay. The Hierophant is about convention. You're going to be flouting convention. So whether this is in a relationship where you're not looking at the conventional path, or you want to be looking at the conventional path, therefore you actually get an answer as to whether somebody can meet you on that conventional path or not. And you won't be able to hide the truth about that from yourself. And sometimes, particularly if we're really wanting that to happen, we can hide the conventional truth from ourselves. Not a good idea. Not in this climate. You're heading into a climate of clarity as if you kind of levitated and got your head above the clouds. So if there's been any doubt or gaslighting or just, difficult communication, I don't really know where we're going with this, all of that kind of confusion, that won't survive this kind of King of Swords, Ace of Swords, the desire to communicate, the desire to be receiving. It won't survive that. It hasn't really got a place there. And that is something to be celebrated. It's a good thing. So you will be defying convention in a way, okay? You will also be defying all the knowledge that you've known up to this point. Some of the things that you've held very dear as treasured sort of standards or ways to behave or takes on the world, those will be reversed or changed because you're changing, you're evolving, Scorpio, which is fantastic. We all need to be. Water needs to keep moving. You are a water sign. And then we get the Star. And this is very important because the Page of Cups is next to it. And we have the Knight of Cups up here. And I always like it when we get a Page of Cups, a Knight of Cups and a Queen, because we're going up, we're ascending. It's an ascension. It's got the King and the Queen at the top. And then the page, it goes the Page, Knight, King and Queen. Okay, so you're evolving. Something emotional is evolving. This could be your emotional quality in a relationship. This could be your emotional relationship with yourself, but it's evolving. And it needs to be evolving. The Star is telling you to be manifesting, to not tie your wishes, your deep desires, your secrets, your secret desires, not to be tying them down too early, to make them incredible. Because the incredible can become credible. It's like hooking down a star yourself. For very few of you, there may be an apology you've been waiting for, and here it is. But you might also want to imagine receiving that apology. And then it can happen. So that's manifesting. If you're into manifesting, for the love of God, do it this month because it will work. I mean, let's face it again. You want manifesting to work. And it will. So whether you journal, whether you do vision boarding, whether you do dreams, whatever, living dreams, lucid dreams, who cares? Get doing it. Okay, there's no harm in it. It can bring you only good. Okay, I love this. In the extended reading, I'm going to use some different decks. I'm going to look at these themes of clarity, how you get that clarity. I'm going to look deeper into relationships, the quality of communication in relationships, and what's coming in with this Page and Knight and Queen of Cups in terms of this emotional evolution. Okay? Scorpio, this is good. It's not, you know, dead easy at all. There will be ups and downs. I do get a kind of ups and downs with these blues. Can you see like almost a heart monitor going up and down? But that's okay because you're good for that, you know. I never worry about you in that department. Oof. Okay, I think I'm gonna start with the Eight of Wands and see what is needed to be communicated. If you want the extended, I'm going to go and do it now. I will link it. It will be the first link in the description box. Leave me a comment and I'll see you soon. Namaste.